1 week ago today, Nissan unveiled the Proto Z, the 7th generation Z car, and they made it very apparent from the beginning that this car draws heavy inspiration from previous generations of the Z car, specifically the original 240Z and the Z32 300ZX. This is big news for Nissan and Z fans in general, as it has been 12 years since the previous generation of Z car was introduced. Today we'll be going over the car bow to stern and performing an Avid analysis of the Proto Z. The first thing you notice is the strong inspiration that comes from the original 240Z. The headlights, the rectangular grille, the long hood, the line down the middle of the hood and the profile. And when we look at a side profile picture, you can see how it all ties together. You have the front of the car that's more 240Z, except for that space in between the headlights that resembles the Z32. You have the rear tail light panel that is very reminiscent of the Z32. However, the slope of the rear hatch is more reminiscent of the original 240Z. And in the middle you can see the strong resemblance to the current 370Z. And if I read the specs correctly, it is on the same wheelbase as the current Z car, which leads me to believe this is just an update of the current platform. This isn't entirely a bad thing, as the current model is built on a well-sorted chassis. The one area that I really think needs a little bit of work on is that rear end. While I admire the fact that it's reminiscent of the original 240Z, it looks imposed on the car and almost doesn't fit, and definitely needs a spoiler or some kind of active aerodynamics. I like how on the steering wheel they've used the original Z logo, and they've also tried to make it somewhat reminiscent of the original 3-spoke Z steering wheel. All in all, I think it's come together quite well, and I say good job, Nissan. It's been 12 years and maybe it's actually been worth the wait. On the interior as well, you can see the inspiration that has come from the original 240Z with those triple pod gauges. They also brought this back in 2003 with the 350Z. I'm not a big fan, however, of the digital screen they have in place of the analog gauges. However, I am a fan of the rumored twin-turbo 3-liter V6 that Nissan has yet to tell us much about. The heavy use of carbon fiber to keep the weight down and a low center of gravity. Hopefully they can keep the weight under 3,500 pounds to not spoil the handling. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a manual transmission. This is a sports car, not a supercar or not a drag racer. It's meant to have a manual transmission. Sports cars are meant to be front engine, rear-wheel drive with a manual transmission in the middle. While it appears to be more evolutionary than revolutionary, it looks promising. Let's just hope it gets a tuned version of the VR30 twin turbo that's available in the Q50 Red Sport, producing more power and more torque. Nissan would be wise to use this car as a means to draw upon their heritage and distance themselves from their French connection. They need to make more cars that people want to buy and less with CVTs. I also love how they put the Z emblem on the rear C-pillar, just like the original Z car. Hopefully Nissan can also draw inspiration from this new model of Z car and translate it throughout their lineup. Perhaps most importantly of all, with the Maxima, returning it to its roots as a proclaimed 4-door sports car, this time on a rear-wheel drive platform as the first generation was. There are rumors going around that Nissan is going to axe the Maxima due to poor sales. The reason for this could possibly be because people don't want a front-wheel drive car with a CVT for $40,000. The front-wheel drive craze of the 80s and 90s is over. Even Mazda are rumored to have a rear-wheel drive sports sedan in the works. In the end, only time will tell if Nissan are back in business and if the Z will be a success. It needs to be priced right as well, with a starting price in the low to mid 30s. Otherwise, people will take their money elsewhere. What do you think? Do you like the Proto Z? Why or why not? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.